Welcome back to Rusted Junk, the 80s Movies podcast. Do you find yourself wanting to put on a corked hat, fight crocodiles in the outback and then move to New York? How about befriending an alien by dressing him up as a ghost on Halloween? If so, this is the podcast for you. If you remember searching for that perfect film from Blockbuster, and if you grew up in the UK, waiting for that one VHS copy to be returned to the newsagents, then welcome. We'll have fond memories waiting for you. I'm Charlie, and the rest of the Rusted Junk team are Amanda.
Hello.
Joe.
Howdy, you all.
And Dom.
Hello.
And the film we'll be looking at this time is the 1989 film Batman, starring Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Kim Basinger.
I'll call it Basinger.
Basinger, I think it is. But anyway. Michael Gough, Pat Hingle, Jack Palance. Yeah. And because it's Lucky Dip, it's not my film. It is Joe's film. It is Joe's choice. For those regular listeners, no, we drew it out the hat, which just reminded me there's something that I need to do for the end. So that's something that I will do over the course of the podcast, is make sure Amanda's films are ready.
Oh,
It's your choice at the end.
is it?
It is, yes. I got very good with Fatal Attraction and Wall Street and my selection. So yes, it's your turn. Joe, though, this is your choice. Why?
Yes, it is.
We've talked about this many times, so I know why you chose it. But would you like to tell the others and our wonderful listeners why you chose it?
I host another podcast called WDWNT Nerd Alert. And what we do is we focus mostly on Marvel and Star Wars, since they were purchased by Disney several years ago. But we also bring in DC. We put in a lot of nerdy things. But I was dying to talk about an iconic movie from the 80s, an iconic superhero movie from the 80s, and that would be Batman. There's a couple of superhero movies from the 80s, but I would say that Batman probably sticks out the most for numerous reasons we'll get into in this podcast.
No, okay, all right. Nice little introduction there. Shall we watch the trailer and then we can get into what people thought about it? Yeah?
Yeah,
Yep.
go for it.
Cue the trailer.
Vicky Vale.
Bruce Wayne.
And what do you do for a living?
Lieutenant, is there a 6-foot bat in Gotham City?
Nice outfit.
You look fine.
I didn't ask. I have given a name to my pain.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
My life is really complex.
Winged freak terrorizes. Wait till they get a load of me.
Well, I don't know about you, but that trailer reminds me of those old kids' information films. I Am Death. There's nothing going on in the middle. There's no music or anything to bolster up. I remember
It's
it
a
being
very
better
weird
than that.
trailer. I'm
it's
not
very
sure I'd
strange.
want to watch the movie if I watched that.
Well, you'd want to watch the movie because it was literally everywhere, from buses to Happy Meals. So, yeah, that's why you want to watch Batman. Yeah,
It's a surprise they dropped the ball with the trailer a bit, isn't it? Because the marketing was so effective for this film. It's definitely one that I remember. That bat logo was ubiquitous in the 80s.
I remember the music by Prince, and I remember the theme tune being in the charts.
Not the
Yeah,
best.
like Dom had said, the marketing was crazy over here in Manhattan. Yeah, it was just, and like Dom had said, the big marketing thing was the bat logo with the yellow background.
Yeah.
And it created like a sense of curiosity. People were dying to see this because they knew it was going to be darker than the Adam West Batman series, which was the last incarnation of Batman, and they just couldn't wait to see it. We did get some pictures of Michael Keaton as Batman, but other than that, maybe we got the trailer if you saw it in the movies, but they kind of kept a lot of stuff hidden. They wanted to keep it all mysterious for the movie itself, and that's why we got the bat logo, and it was very effective, like Dom had said.
Yeah, absolutely. So as it's your show, Joe, or your choice, you pick who wants to go first with what they thought.
All right, I'm gonna pick you, Charlie. What about that?
Oh, right, okay. Well, blimey. Where do you start? Iconic. Public Enemy once said, "Don't believe the hype. Do believe the hype on this one," because it delivers. It gives you the sort of twisted world of Tim Burton, which has consistently been good. Consistently, not across the board, up until Alice in Wonderland, Edward Scissorhands, all those sorts of things. It's just, to me, it lives up to everything that it wanted to deliver. Michael Keaton is wonderful. He's my Batman. Everybody always says they have a particular Batman. Jack Nicholson, the Joker, is a masterstroke at the time. You could have had Robin Williams, and I'm sure you'll get to that in the trivia, Joe. About the involvement of potential involvement of Robin Williams. But no, from my point of view, it's not perfect by any means, but my goodness, is it what you would... Jaws started the term summer blockbuster. This is definitely a summer blockbuster. This has definitely had everything. So the promise does live up to... I'll give my score later, but yeah, I loved it.
All right, Dom.
Okay, follow that then. So I had really mixed feelings when this choice was picked from the sorting hat. On the one hand, I was psyched to actually be able to remember a film coming out live because it was late 80s, this, isn't it? And I remember seeing it at the cinema. I remember really looking forward to seeing it there. Like we talked about earlier, I had a T-shirt with a logo on, I think, before I'd even seen the film. It was a must-watch film, and I definitely remember very clearly going to see it. However, and what I'm going to say will alienate not just some of our listeners, but perhaps some of my fellow pod members. But there's a reason I'll never get invited. Well, probably multiple reasons I'll never get invited onto Joe's pod. But one of them is, I'll just come out and say it: the superhero genre is my least favorite in all of cinema, barring perhaps musicals. I like fantasy, but superhero films just leave me cold, and I haven't seen vast swathes of the films which you will all know inside and out. So none of the X-Men films, none of the Iron Man films.
Wow.
What? No Iron Man?
Perhaps just the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man as well. So I'm not a fan of the genre. And so when I look at this film, it's through that lens. Excited child, but not a fan of superhero movies.
Blimey. So you haven't seen Iron Man Oklahoma? It's amazing. It's got everything. It's got a... wow. Now, can I genuinely say, I know you're going to pick an next, Joe. It's fine. I know where this is going, so take cover, everyone.
Come on.
Amanda.
Okay. Well, prove me wrong. Here we go.
Right, okay. I'm really sorry. I couldn't watch the end of the movie.
Oh, really? You didn't watch the end of the movie?
Couldn't watch it.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
I was at the top of the cathedral, and she says, "I'm going to bed now."
That's when it becomes a 10.
No, see, I don't know. I was really well, my thoughts about the movie originally were, oh yeah, it's a good movie, but I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's my age, or I don't know if it's because I'm looking through my old eyes now, or with glasses, or what. I don't know, because I really liked the music when it was released, but I was never one to obviously go to the cinema, so I never went to the cinema to watch this as a movie. So I must have rented it on a video or something when I was like, in my teens or whatever. So perhaps I didn't get the proper experience I should have done at that point. But I was never like a fan of the movie, to be perfectly honest. I don't know what it is. I just didn't click with it at all. I mean, Michael Keaton as a Batman, he's okay. I'm sorry, he's okay. I've never come
Prefer
across...
Christian Bale.
Well, he's eye candy, but the thing that puts me off him completely is his stupid Batman voice. Now, you see, I'll give Michael Keaton his due. His Batman voice is good.
It is.
It is good.
The cowl's good.
But his
He's
Bruce
good.
Wayne is lacking. And I just don't think it's the best Batman movie. I don't know. I don't know. I just found Jack Nicholson, as much as I do like him as an actor, I found him really annoying. The character, for me, I couldn't even take it. I'd just leave it.
Wow.
I could understand what they were trying to do, make it a dark sort of comedy, kind of, sort of weird kind of fantasy, almost kind of Batman movie compared to like what we had with like the original Batman series on the telly. The Adam West stuff is what I grew up with, so I could see the sort of tribute to how that was sort of in the movie, but it added a new aspect to it, and I don't really feel that new aspect hit it on point. So for me, in terms of the Joker and how it's acted, the Joker movie with Heath Ledger, that is just
The Dark Knight is the best Batman
phenomenal as the Joker. That's how I expect the Joker to be. But this was an interpretation. It just, for me, it didn't hit the mark.
Wow.
So sorry.
I think one of the points you make there, Amanda, the casting in this the casting's important in any film, but in this one it's just absolutely critical. And I think there's some brilliant casting choices in this, and we'll all give our opinions on those. Personally, I think there's some dreadful casting choices in this film as well.
Yeah.
And then I think, to what extent you love the film really depends on your view on the two central roles of Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson as to which way it goes for you. So I think, hopefully roll call, we can lift the surface on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for me, the movie wasn't really about Batman. It was about Joker.
It was good in a way that they did that, because we really didn't need a Batman origin for the first movie, because that just would have been drawn out. So he was, I think, Batman for a couple of months when we first see him. And then we get to know more about the Joker. I think it worked, though. I'd prefer to see it that way.
Okay.
But you, Joe?
I did want to mention, so today is July 18th. It's actually the 15th anniversary of The Dark Knight when it was released.
Wow.
So
15 years
about
ago.
that. Yeah. I remember seeing the midnight showing of it. Was blown away. Very, like you guys said, it was very good. So yeah, you guys are going to be surprised. I kind of see what you guys are saying. It doesn't have the best acting in it. It doesn't have the best story in it. I have a lot of problems with the movie for sure, but it's iconic. And I guess it's like, how do I weigh this movie? Do I weigh it as a movie that I just enjoy just due to the memories that I had of the experience of going to see it, and then the marketing build up, or do I rate it as a film? So I'm kind of going to go in the middle. I guess I won't rate it now. I'll rate it later. But no, there's definitely some problems in it. But two of the problems I would say that don't exist are the casting of Batman and the Joker. I think that they're very good.
Yeah.
But no, I still feel like it's iconic. We'd never seen anything like that before. As a kid, I was forced to watch Adam West Batman. And although I watched it, I just didn't like Batman. I thought he was lame. I never collected Batman comic books because I didn't think he was cool. And he wasn't cool in the comics either. It wasn't until a friend of mine, and I guess, let's see, I was in college, I think, at the time. He had said, oh, did you ever read Batman, The Dark Knight Returns? And I'm like, I don't read comic books anymore, and he's like, well, you need to read it. And he goes, it's a very adult comic book. It's very graphic. It's a graphic novel. And I kind of blew it off, and then eventually he lent me it, and I was blown away. I was hooked because this was a different Batman. This was a brutal Batman. He was all about vengeance. He was dark. He was angry. He was also an older Batman. He was like maybe in his late 50s, early 60s, but he was just savage. And the Joker was a serial killer, and it just changed the way you looked at Batman. No longer was Batman in the tights and had his partner. Well, he does have Robin in this too, in The Dark Knight Returns, but he just was a serious vigilante, a hero. And it just, I really enjoyed it. And it changed. Not only did it change Batman, it changed comic books forever, The Dark Knight Returns, because then comics started to become more adult. And we saw more of the Punisher and how it kind of seeped into like Wolverine and the X-Men. Characters started getting, for better or worse, they started getting a lot more violent and a lot more adult. And you saw more adults coming into comic book stores than kids because they were fascinated by it. It's like, wow, I can't believe the stuff that they do in these comics. They're so adult. But what I liked about this movie is that they were inspired by The Dark Knight Returns to make this movie. So he no longer was a laughing stock Batman. He was the hero that I read in The Dark Knight Returns. A little younger, but he was a serious vigilante crime fighter. And that really made me happy, especially when you look at the picture of Adam West and you compare the picture of Michael Keaton as Batman. They're two different Batmen.
They are, yeah.
One is threatening, intimidating, and the other one is laughable. And anyway, I do enjoy the movie. I see problems in it for sure, but it's still fun to watch. So I'll just leave it at that.
Right. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll get to scores later. On that note, I don't know how many people agree, and maybe we can talk about this after roll call, but I think Batman Returns is the better film out of the two. But yeah, we will get to that contentious issue potentially after roll call.
My problem with that is just ultra dark. It's just the Penguin he did it intentionally because he didn't want to do the movies anymore. He didn't want to be pushed to make toys for McDonald's, and so he made the Penguin so dark that they couldn't market the character.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Anyway, let's keeping it high and tight. Let's go into roll call. Here's roll call.
Roll call.
So I think we agreed on our WhatsApp group that we weren't going to go into Jack Nicholson because we just done Jack Nicholson. But Michael Keaton, we covered him for Beetlejuice, but I don't think everyone was here for Beetlejuice, so it'd be good just to go through it again. I love him. I think he's great. I'm gonna have a quick little round of Little Does She Know. Two Michael Keaton films that are Batman on Beetlejuice.
What's the new? Is he in the Spider-Man one?
He was in a Spider-Man film. He was in Spider-Man Homecoming. He played the Vulture.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's been in some romancy thing, hasn't he?
I'm looking at the list. I don't see a lot of romancy stuff, but
oh no, I'm getting mixed up with what's his face out of Thingy.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry. Now that you've clarified that, then yeah.
Oh god, the Meg Ryan thing where she does the fake orgasm. I'm getting him mixed up with him.
That's Billy Crystal.
Billy
Yeah,
Crystal.
it's not him. They've both got Brillo pad hair, you know.
They do have Brillo hair, but
yeah, but it's quite hard to get those two.
One's
Anybody-
Batman and one's not.
Dom, Michael Keaton, come on.
Well, first of all, I can understand why Amanda does struggle with this because he's not. I don't think he's an A-list
Not in
actor.
a lot.
No, and if you look at his filmography, yeah, his Birdman is the one that springs to mind, isn't it, for his Academy Award nomination? But no, he's not
Wasn't
an
that
A-list
Frank
star.
Spencer in Birdman?
Oh, but he.
That's Condor Man.
Oh, Condor Man.
Oh God. It's what?
Frank Spencer roller skating following a double-decker bus.
Yeah, but, yeah. So we ask her about things, that are very important films. No, she remembers a really obscure film from 1981 where he plays Condor Man. Lord.
It's not Frank Spencer, though, is it? What's his name?
Michael Crawford.
Michael Crawford.
Oh,
there
Michael
you go.
Crawford.
Makes biscuits.
Biscuits. He doesn't, does he? That's not.
It
No.
might be a piece of. I think it's an
Oh,
urban legend. Anyway,
Right, sorry. Yeah, Michael Keaton films.
Birdman and Multiplicity. Those would be the two.
he got Oscar
I think-
nominated for The Founder as well.
Did he? Oh, I missed that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Oscar Bantz. You missed that.
I'm not sure he did, but if you've got that in front of you,
I think he did. I think he did.
okay, listeners, Google that. Who was right? Send us a message, Charlie or Dom, because I think he was. Well, I know he was nominated for Birdman, wasn't he? And he
Yes.
lost out to Eddie Redmayne for The Theory of Everything.
Yeah, Eddie Redmayne was pretty good in that. So Night Shift, Mr. Mom, Gung Ho. These are things that I watched him in.
I've never seen them.
No,
I saw them.
Yeah.
When they first came out, it's funny because that's when other than Batman, if you ask me, can you name a role other than Batman, I would say Mr. Mom, because that's when he first kind of
broke
got
out.
his fire and was started, put into the limelight. But I think we're going to talk about this, that there were a lot of people that were against the casting of Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yes.
Because he was so comedic, and he was thin, he was balding, he just didn't look like Bruce Wayne. And I think they said 30 to 50,000 people wrote in letters to not have him be Batman. And I think Bob Kane was against it, one of the creators of Batman. There were so many people that were against it. And I know Charlie had done this, and a friend of mine, or I might have read it in a magazine, they said, if you're worried that he's too comedic, why don't you look at Clean and Sober, the
Yes,
movie?
absolutely.
And I did. I rented it.
The next year. Yeah.
Just
the next year before, in between Beetlejuice and Batman.
Yeah, and it showed his dramatic side, so I was like, all right, I have a little bit more confidence. But then they released a picture of Batman in full costume, and I remember it was in Starlog magazine. It was on the cover, and I was like, whoa. It's like, I'm sold. He looks great. The eyes, the lips, he just looked fantastic.
The eyes, the lips. Joe, come on. Oh, that costume is 99%, nothing to do with him. Any of us would look good in that costume, yeah?
I don't know. No,
all you can
he
see
definitely...
all you can see is his chin, and that's just so the police that know he's a white guy, and that's the only
do you
reason
think?
that the lower part of his face is showing.
What do you think, Charlie?
Wow. What?
Do you think, like, could you, like, if you put George Clooney against Michael Keaton, would you be able to tell and put them in the same
God,
costume?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, no, one's bigger than the other.
Well,
let's
they're sitting
say
down.
that you just see their faces, yes.
Oh, I'd have George Clooney any day.
Yeah, but would you know that it is George Clooney?
Oh, probably.
Well, my point is, because Dom was saying any of us would look good in it, but you could
Batman
tell
with a
which one
beard.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could tell Dom right away.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I could tell Amanda too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be quite butch.
Especially if you had your glasses on.
We'd have to wear lipstick then to. Oh.
I won't have a shave for a day or two,
But of all the Batman, I'm just saying that he looks, just that he's got the face like that we've seen. I don't know. It just sticks out. To me,
Yes.
I think he looks the best.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Well, no, I disagree. George Clooney looks the best.
Oh, God.
You're a guy. You wouldn't
George
understand.
Clooney's the worst Batman.
I'm not talking about acting. I'm
Oh, you're just talking about
looks.
right? Okay, looks. Okay,
Yeah, him, then Christian Bale, then
Ben Affleck.
I don't know.
And we're just talking
Oh,
about
he's
him
a
with
bit
the cowl
girly,
on.
isn't he, Ben Affleck?
Oh man.
I know, Joe. I can feel it from here, mate. I can feel your heckles. I'm
All
gonna
right, all right. But look, if we all agree that he's a decent enough Batman, can we just comment on his performance as Bruce Wayne? Then can we just have a little 5 minutes on that? Because
Sure.
I could accept he's a decent Batman, but Bruce Wayne, he's just a generic everyman, and maybe that's the point. But
Yeah, he's not got any razzmatazz, has he?
no
if you met
charisma.
that Bruce Wayne, there's no way you think he's Batman. If you met Christian Bale, you go, yeah, maybe. That's the beauty. That's a perfect Bruce Wayne, isn't it? That you don't know that it's Batman. Oh, job done.
It makes it odd that Vicky Vale falls for him and sleeps with him on a first date, apart from the fact that he's really, really rich.
He's got $1 billion. Yeah,
I was going to say, what first attracted you to the billionaire Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, but there's no chemistry. He's got no charisma as
No.
Whoa.
I wouldn't.
No. I'm going to stick up for him. She's got no charisma.
Yeah.
She can't act. She cannot act. In I maybe
She can't, but she looks pretty.
She looks very pretty.
She's just a whore with a camera. That's all she is in this movie.
Jeez,
She's listening. I don't care. You didn't deserve to win an Oscar either.
Oh God, forgot. Yes. Oh, I didn't. Did you have that in Oscar Bants?
I did. That's me off the pod now. Joe, you've ruined it for me.
Sorry. No, there's more. There's more people that won Oscars.
True.
Yes, true.
I did Google it, by the way, and Charlie was incorrect. I was incorrect. Academy Award for Michael Keaton here.
I was correct.
Or, to put it more bluntly, no, you were wrong.
Oh,
RONG, wrong.
Very
It's
good.
not worthy of a W.
Very good. I see what he did there. Very good.
I'll agree with that.
Can we just go on to Michael Keaton? Otherwise, roll call is going to need its own podcast at this point.
But can I agree? I just want to agree with those two.
Okay.
Those two others. I kind of agree with them.
No,
he's
I'm sticking up for Bruce Wayne.
He's not the best Bruce Wayne.
The best Bruce Wayne is one you'd never guess.
No, you want a sexy Bruce Wayne.
I think Michael Keaton's, New York, Brooklyn sexy. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say the best Bruce Wayne was Val Kilmer.
I don't know I've never really thought about it.
It's
definitely not my best Bruce Wayne. Val Kilmer's all right. I do like Christian Bale. I do think, but then I'm probably tagging him because I think the Dark Knight's perfect.
Robert Pattinson is even worse as Bruce Wayne.
True, and he's the worst.
I don't even recall him being.
You've never seen it. We haven't watched it. I went to the cinema and sat through 3 hours of that dross. But
dross. Is that a new word too?
Oh, it's another one. Yeah,
dross. No, dross is a word.
Oh, okay.
What was the one that you invented the other day?
Well, I'll use it in its correct terms. Your analysis of Bruce Wayne Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne is shonky.
Shonky.
Yes. Right, but come on, let's give Michael Keaton his due. Let's get back on it. Clean and sober. The Dream Team. The Dream Team is a funny film. Joe, help me out here. So, anybody seen it?
I've seen it. I wouldn't say it was necessarily
Christopher Lloyd,
funny.
Peter Boyle. Okay. Then you got Batman.
But they were all mental institution patients.
Yes. Yeah, and they got lost because their carer got shot.
It's a fun movie, but I wouldn't say it's a comedy either.
So then his Dark Side in Pacific Heights, where he terrorizes Melanie Griffith and Matthew Modine. Then he goes into Shakespeare for his next film. He stars in Much Ado About Nothing. Then he stars in multiple versions of himself in Multiplicity. He then stars in a Tarantino film in Jackie Brown, plays the same character in Out of Sight with George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez. Stars in I need to put something else on my CV. I don't know. I'll put a Christmas movie. I'll play Jack Frost. And then after that, I think I want to do animation. I'll voice in Cars and Toy Story. Then I'll go off, I'll win an Oscar. I'll go and do the Founder. And then I want a comic book film. Yes, I'll do one of those. Spider-Man movie. And then I'll star in a Disney remake, Dumbo. And then I'll star in what was my favourite film until I saw Mission Impossible Fallout this year. He reprises the role of Batman in The Flash, and he's the best thing in it.
I got to tell you, he made really bad career decisions. I don't think he had a good career at all. He may have won an Oscar, but he could have had such a better career than the one that he followed, and a lot of it was his fault. He declined a lot of movies. I think we talked about he declined Ghostbusters, maybe even Vacation, like all these popular movies that he could have been in. He was like, nah, I don't want to do it. Nah, I don't want to do it. And then what did he do? I mean, even like when he left the Batman franchise, he really went on to do nothing for years and years and years.
Yes, so, it's true. First of all, he didn't win an Oscar, as we've established. He was nominated. But secondly, all those films you list, Charlie, are just 7 out of 10s at best. 6 out of 10s, probably a few 4 out of 10s.
Yeah, Toy Story. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, 7 out of 10. Nobody likes that film.
Yeah, but that's a different sort of. That's not down to Michael Keaton's performance, is it?
Okay, Spider-Man: Homecoming, the best of the 3 Spider-Man films.
He was good in that. Yeah, but it's like, I'm just saying, it just seems like he vanished off the face of the earth at some point. He may have had those movies, but they weren't blockbusters. I mean, they weren't memorable. People don't go out and rent them at Palmer Video or at a video place. Well, you do. But you again, like Eric Stoltz.
I did.
What's that other dude? I keep forgetting his name.
Don't diss the Stoltz. Come on, man. Come on.
James Spader.
I don't know why I keep forgetting his name, because it's so unrememberable.
Unrememberable.
That's a new word for you.
That's a shonky word, isn't it?
Copyright.
It is.
Right, come on, let's get off Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Let's get on to so Jack Nicholson, we said that we've done.
It's done, yeah.
As good as it gets. Watch that if you haven't watched it, because it's really, really, really good. Kim Basinger.
Oh, wait. I got something to say about Jack Nicholson.
Oh.
No, this is interesting, though.
It's almost like we don't talk over WhatsApp. But yeah, go on then. What have we got?
Well, no, this is interesting. So before the movie came out, it was, again, there was a lot of hype, and Jack Nicholson was going to play the Joker, which was really big and all that. So I had a friend that was like, he was in the sports memorabilia autograph kind of thing.
Is it?
It's not Frank. No, it was a guy in Manhattan that I knew. And so I was at his store one day, and I was like, I said, can you get me anything by Jack Nicholson? He says, oh, I got a bunch by Jack Nicholson. And I said, how do you get his autograph? And he says, he's pretty easy. He says, because like if I'm out in LA and I'm at a Lakers game, I can just show him some Lakers stuff, and he'll kind of wave me over. And he goes, but before Batman, there was no Batman or Joker stuff. Like even when they marketed Batman, the Joker that they marketed was the Joker in the comics. It wasn't the Joker in the movie. And Nicholson was a huge fan of the Joker, gigantic fan of the Joker. So this guy, he would go up, like he would see Nicholson come out of like a restaurant or a bar, and he would hold up a poster of the Joker, or he'd hold up a T-shirt of the Joker. And then he would stop walking. He's like, all right, come over here. It's like, and he goes, what do you want for it? And he's like, 50 autographs. He's like, 20. And he's like, 30. He goes, all right. So like, that's how they would do it, so he got his autograph that way. So I saw, he had a couple. He had one from signed when he was in The Shining. One was from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And then he had one that he only had one of, and it was of him in the bathroom, in a bathroom stall, and it looked really cool. And I says, can I get that one? And he's like, yeah, you can get it, So again, this was before it, and this was the autograph. Could you see it right there? Did you see Jack Nicholson's autograph?
Yes. Yeah.
And
for those that are listening, you gotta,
he's in a bathroom stall. It's just such a weird thing, and I've never seen this. If you Google it,
wow,
like you never see this picture, so that was pretty cool.
That is very cool, Joe. Wow. Okay, I don't mind you stopping.
Is he waving the smell of his like fart or his poo? Do you think? In the picture?
Oh, you had to ruin the moment. I mean, that was very. Oh,
Oh, well
dear.
done, Joe.
Okay. Yeah, nice one.
Oh, thanks.
Jack in a bog.
Oh, jeez. Is that your second? You only allowed 3 jokes a year. That's your second one, isn't it? Joe's gone blurry. You might want to tap your camera. Just gone a slight bit. Maybe the heat in Florida is. There we go.
Back on.
Kim Basinger, right? Can't act. We all agree on that. 9.5 weeks. She's very good in that.
She didn't have to act in that, though, did she?
But yeah, well,
just
unless she enjoyed lots of sex with Mickey Rourke, then yeah, she might have to.
Ricky
Mork.
Hey.
Ricky
Rourke. Wasn't he out of?
Yeah, he had a fruit stall in Islington. She was a Bond girl.
Yeah, never say never again.
Oh, I thought you'd get that, Joe. Yeah, she's a Bond girl. Domino Petrani in Never Say Never Again. She was in No Mercy with Richard Gere, Blind Date with Bruce Willis. Does anyone want to give me... so these are for the people that don't know. Can anyone tell me what the plot of Blind Date is?
What happened?
I don't know.
Did she fall off a chair? No.
Yeah, I think she did. You all right?
Geez.
Oh, she's flying.
It's going sideways now. What the hell?
I think that was the laptop. I hope it was.
Okay.
It was the camera, not me.
Okay. Looked like you were
Otherwise,
flying.
she's in space. Right. For those that don't know, so hands up who knows what happens in Blind Date. Right. Okay. So Joe, you're not allowed to answer.
Right.
She's in.
I went to see Blind Date with my mate Louise.
And who was in it?
When it came out, but I can't remember it apart from
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis being in it.
Fine. So the plot. Do you want to hazard a guess, Dom?
It's a blind date, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does the title give it away a little bit?
Yeah, but what was the funny bit in it? What made
I don't know. Is it that they're actually literally blind and they go rollerblading or something and it ends up with broken
Sounds
arms?
better.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
I should
actually
be
a
a script
dog?
doctor.
I actually enjoyed Blind Date. Don't get her drunk, otherwise she all she needs is a sip of alcohol. Bit like Amanda. Sip of alcohol and then she's out.
Hang on.
And then she's out. And hilarity ensues with Bruce Willis trying to be the straight man, trying to look after it. It doesn't work. I still like it. It's still a guilty pleasure. She was the person that tried to get Gough to murder her husband in Wayne's World 2. She looks so good in that. Oscar for LA
Yeah, but
Confidential.
did she act particularly well in that or not?
She didn't have to act. She just had to uncross and cross her legs. LA Confidential, and then Eminem's mum in 8 Mile.
She was in that Cool World.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, Cool World. Is that? I think she's. We said it at the start. We just said it just then. She's eye candy, and she's very good.
And I don't think she's nice eye candy either.
Oh, she is.
I don't think she is.
Look at what the reporter Robert Wool. We'll get to you next. What's the first thing he says to her? The most politically incorrect. Hello,
Wants to bang.
Hello, legs.
Oh, I was going to say,
You're like,
I want to bang you.
Well, I think everyone did, and Michael Keaton did. So yeah, fine.
Well, actually, did he? Or in the, not?
Did you not see the film? Did you miss that
I meant
bit?
like in
It
real
was at the
life.
end.
Did he?
It's the last scene of the movie. Oh, you know, she was banging Prince while she was making Batman.
What?
In real
Is that
life.
true?
That's true, yeah.
Oh,
Should have been far too tall for him.
Anyone's far too tall for Prince.
yeah. Wow, lucky
He's
Prince.
like an Oompa Loompa.
Maybe he had a pocket rocket then. I don't know.
I'm not going to get the reporter that just said that.
Hang on.
Right.
We've got to discuss.
Honestly, we're 36. We've only got less than an hour left. But go
All
on.
right. Well,
let's
all
go
I'll
for
say
it.
is
Go
one
on.
of the reasons that her career, apart from the fact she can't act, which is obviously fairly crucial too, that her career unravelled so badly. She had a couple of big financial whammies, one after the other. So her and her family bought this town called Brazelton, Georgia, for $20 million.
Okay, no. Stay on this. I like this.
financial tanking over it. They fell out with the family schisms, nearly bankrupted her, and then she did bankrupt herself by pulling out the film Boxing Helena. Do you remember that? There's,
Oh, yeah, I remember
that's
that.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
The film is very forgettable, but the kind of controversy when she read the script and I think, and bear in mind, she's done some dodgy roles in her time, objected to the kind of way that women were portrayed in the film, that she got sued out of sight for that. And that was it, really destroyed her career. And she didn't work properly again until sort of resurrected by 8 Mile later on down the line. So, yeah, she managed to turn her Oscar win into a right fiasco.
She was married to Alec Baldwin for a while, wasn't she?
Yeah. Made a Simpsons episode together for those of us who've seen that.
Yes, yeah.
Promptly got divorced in a very, very messy custody battle over their daughter, Ireland, I think she's called.
Yeah, didn't Alec call her fat little pig?
Alec Baldwin, God, there's another. Yeah, that can't have been a very pleasant marriage. He's the one that allegedly murdered somebody, isn't he? Or
No,
Yeah.
wait a minute. You've got to be very careful.
allegedly.
All I'll say on that is I stand with Alec Baldwin because as sure as hell going to stand behind Alec Baldwin because as sure as hell going to stand in front of him. Anyway, that's the gag. Robert Wool, the reporter, the one that comes out with the worst line in the film. Oh, who's this guy? King of the Wicker Men.
Oh, and in trivia, so he made up that line. He ad-libbed that line.
Then he should have been escorted off the set.
And Tim
There
Burton
and then.
loved it. And they're like, let's keep it. That line sucked. He sucked. He was horrible.
Yes,
He did. Especially when you find out that Steve Martin was nearly cast in his place, because that would have just been spectacular. I'd love to.
That would have taken my mind off it. But the guy in one of the greatest comedy films of all time, Man with Two Brains, and then suddenly he's in Batman.
Well, what I don't get about this
From
Batman
Roxanne
film,
to Three Amigos to Batman.
if we ignore the two central characters, then you've got this brilliant casting. The guy that plays Alfred, Jack Palance, Commissioner Gordon, some really classic character actors and well-established film stars playing those roles. And then you've got a bunch of non-entities playing, Vicky Vale and Alexander Knox. I just wonder why they kind of lost their imagination when it came to the otherwise pretty switched-on casting. And he was just a waste of time.
He was. I looked at his thing. He was in Bull Durham. He was in Good Morning Vietnam. He was the Oscar host in The Bodyguard. Oh, how his career took off. But he also reprised his role in the Supergirl TV series. I can imagine that was like one of those cameos that everyone went, oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a multiverse thing.
Absolutely. Let's race through the next bit. Pat Hingle, who was Commissioner Gordon. Brewster's Millions. He's brilliant in Brewster's Millions. That's such a good film. We need to do that at some point because it's so good. I know you like that, Dom. He was also reprised the same role in Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. Career, well, he ended up doing Muppets from Space and things like that. So, I guess
He was in Cheers.
Yes, I know, because I watched that episode where he takes over the bar for the day. I didn't like him in that. I didn't particularly like that episode. I thought he was quite brash. Michael Gough, Alfred. He was in all the Batmans. Most famously, though, and where I recognise him from, he's Dr. Paul Flamond in Top Secret. The
Most
wonderful Top
famously?
Secret. For me, yeah. He comes out with one of the best lines, which is when when Val Kilmer and the girl, it says, you need to get out of here. If they find out you've seen this, your life will be worth less than a truckload of dead rats in a tampon factory.
Really? I missed that.
Yeah, that's
I get that.
and he delivers it so deadpan. It's just, it's just brilliant. Yeah.
He was in the Hammer movies too.
Yes, I know. I could have gone into a lot more, but we're already halfway through.
I'm just saying that's what I know him mostly for.
Yes. Jack Palance, of course. I'm going to set you up here, Dom. I know it's coming. City Slickers, Tango and Cash, with the bad guy in Tango and Cash. But Dom, why is Jack Palance known? Come on, Oscar Bance, tell me why Jack Palance is famous. The Oscars.
Is he? He's not the oldest guy to win an Oscar, is he? Because that was, I don't know. No, go on, you got me there.
So it is an urban legend, but is yet to be disproved, that Jack Palance and the 1993 Oscars. Am I right, Joe?
I don't know which year it was.
Okay, 1993. Let's say 93. He read out for the best actress, Marisa Tomei in My Cousin Vinny, and basically they think that he just read the last name on the. He got confused and read out that name, and she won the Oscar, even though she was in the running. There was no way that she's an Oscar winner. So he just got confused and read out the wrong. Now I can see Amanda's furiously typing there, but you won't find anyone that will back up either I'm right or I'm wrong.
No, I mean, I've heard that too, and I believe it because I
do.
like My Cousin Vinny, and I think she's good in it, but it's not an Oscar-winning performance.
And Dom is busy typing who were they up against?
No,
because then that proves it.
Obviously, that whole La La Land debacle wasn't there, but they just let him do it. Yeah, they missed their moment.
Well, back then they didn't know what to do. It was live television.
Yeah,
you know,
he can't have just misread the
And wasn't he doing like push-ups before?
Yes, he was showing he still got it.
I think he was like 80 years old, and he wanted to show he can do push-ups, and so he was out of breath, and he was a little drunk. So I do believe that she didn't win.
Did you get the other people in that category, Dom? We can put this one to. We can make a collective decision on the podcast whether we believe it or not.
You have to give me a minute, I think. But I just want to somebody else Google it. Well, I just quickly give a shout out to Jerry Hall in case we're not going to discuss her, because this is I want to earn the opportunity to ever discuss Jerry Hall on the pod.
Okay,
it's pretty much the only feature film that she ever made. But I actually thought she was underused in this film, and she is just stunning. You think Kim Basinger's a beautiful woman, and she is, of course. But Jerry Hall just brought some really old school Hollywood glamour to this, I think. And that opening scenes where she's with Jack Nicholson before he's converted into the Joker, I'd be quite interested in watching that as a little spin-off. Those two continuing their gangster ways. But yeah, she's gorgeous, and I'm surprised she didn't make more films, to be honest.
Right, well,
I do a shout out.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so early on in the movie, when you see Batman for the first time, he interrupts a couple of robbers, doesn't he, at the start? And he holds one by the feet. That is the character is Nick, and it's played by Christopher Fairbank. And I was like, oh, I know him. He's Moxie out of our feeders that impact.
Is it actually him?
And
wow,
he's also been in Alien 3.
Yes. Oh, yes. Now that
The
you say
Fifth
that,
Element, and more famously now, he's the broker in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my goodness!
Ha.
Well, I'm stunned. I mean, we've been doing this podcast for coming up to 4 years.
Well, I've actually contributed something original. It's only taken 4 years.
You contributed to roll call. I may have to end the podcast prematurely here. I might have to go and lie down.
I have the Oscar nominees if you guys are interested.
Go on then.
Judy Davis for Husbands and Wives.
No.
Joan Plowright for Enchanted April.
Don't.
Vanessa Redgrave for Howard's End.
Which they say should have won.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Miranda Richardson for Damage.
Oh, see, that was good. But yeah. So yeah, he read out the wrong name.
Well, I think it makes it a bit more plausible that it could have genuinely won, because I think there's only one standout, memorable performance there. I can only remember Vanessa Redgrave out of all of those. So perhaps they just went for the popular one that they thought she deserved it.
Or he just got confused and just blurted whatever he felt like out. Anyway, right, end of roll call. We made it. We made it, everyone. Give yourselves a clap. We made it out of roll call. Excellent. Right, let's talk about the set. Can we just talk about the set for the movie? Because I mean, it's quite impressive. I know, Joe, you've got some trivia. I know because you collated some trivia. So drop any of it in here, especially Jack Nicholson's enormous amount of money that he got paid for this. But I think the set's wonderful.
Yeah, I know I gasped, and so did the whole audience when the movie just began after like the logo and the opening credits, and then you saw Gotham City, and everyone was like, oh, We just, it was a painting for sure, but it just looked so good.
And there are some bad. I like the sets where they can drive around and interact, but the mats, the background ones that they put certainly later in the film, they're not good. They look very badly painted on, which takes away, I think, from the good work that they're doing on the sets. Do you like the introduction of Batman? Because obviously it allows for the iconic line, "What are you? Who are you? Is it who are you or what are you? It's what are you, isn't it?" He goes, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Which
and
he's milked so much, and he's right too.
And it is an iconic line. Like people say, well, poo-poo it and say it's not. But, that's right up there with, here's looking at you, kid.
Yes.
Frankly, I don't give a damn. I mean, it's like one of the most iconic movie lines. I don't know if it's in the top 10, but it's up there for sure. And Michael Keaton was the one that came up with it, because originally it was supposed to be, I am the night. And he decided to say, I'm Batman. And apparently, according to John Peters, it was originally, I'm Batman, mother effer.
I'd prefer that one.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Yeah, I don't mind that.
The Samuel Jackson's head would stick out and say, MF.
What I don't understand, when you've got this first part of the movie, so let's move it along a bit. The first part of the movie, there's all these little interconnecting relationships. You've got Gus Grissom with Jack Napier. You've obviously got Eckhart, the dodgy cop. There's bits in this that I think you have to suspend your disbelief. It's almost like Commissioner Gordon knows that Eckhart's bad. Oh, no. Oh, no. I can't believe he's in charge. Well, why not do something about it then?
I don't know how he got at it.
Yeah.
I don't know how he was able to walk, that guy. He was so heavy.
He's a heavy lad.
He was Porkins in Star Wars: A New Hope.
Of course he was. Yes. How did we miss that out? Yeah. Well, I had to streamline it.
You mentioned about Two-Face.
Oh, sorry, Billy D. Williams. Yeah, we've done Billy D. Williams. Yeah, Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't do it tonight, though.
No, we didn't. Okay, Lando Calrissian. Tonight, Matthew, Lando Calrissian is Two-Face, Harvey Dent.
He didn't really have much of a part, though, did he?
He got screwed.
He did.
All those sort of side characters, there wasn't really any. I didn't feel there was a lot of point to them.
Well, he was supposed to be in the third movie, but they recast Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face because they thought he was better.
Performance.
Yeah, I agree. It was horrible.
Oh, dear me. Jim Carrey's very good. Tommy Lee Jones is not. Yeah. Anyway, he does have a good line with this big cigar in Wayne Manor. I don't believe in ghosts and goblins.
That's fine, good, Charlie.
That's fine. He's good. So if they know Eckhart's the bad cop, why haven't they taken him off the force? Equally, if Grissom knows that Jack Napier is shagging his missus behind his back, why hasn't he just gone up to one of his henchmen and say, put a bullet in the back of his head? No. It has to be a big setup, doesn't it?
This is the whole Austin Powers thing, isn't it? No, I'm going to put him in an easily escapable situation and just assume that he dies. Yeah, so that's what they're setting up. I was more relaxed about the crooked cops. This is although the time frame's a bit ambiguous, this is kind of sort of 30s vibe, isn't it? Think of the Untouchables and all that era of crooked cops, and I thought that Eckhart was a masterful piece of casting. So jowly, chewing his cigar, fedora pulled down over his head, the rain lashing in. He was like the epitome of like a 1930s trench coat detective. I thought it was great. I also agree it's amazing he didn't die of a heart attack during the shootout. I mean, literally, they must have had paramedics just out of shot with a ventilator, just ready for him to keel over. But fair play to him.
Yeah, it's like even like when Nicholson goes Eckhart and he turns around, he like looks at him like, what do you want? It's like he doesn't even have to shoot him. It looks like he's about to die anyway.
Yeah, just give him another donut and push him over the edge.
But the time period, it always confuses me because a lot of the cars are very old cars, but then you have cars like from the 70s, and then when you have like Bruce Wayne's mansion. It's very updated with somewhat kind of modern technology for the day.
Well, I'm giving the extra point for the Batmobile, which I think is the best Batmobile.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
It's quite funny though when him
all
and
of
Vicky Vale get in the Batmobile and the thing comes across and he takes his ears off. Did you notice that?
That was part of the trivia too. The guy that created the Batmobile didn't he didn't think of the ears at the time, and the ears were too big for the Batmobile.
Did he have to have foam ears that kind of like just pushed in when the?
I think they might have heightened it a little bit. Not sure.
Jeff, can you get the spanner out? We forgot about the ears.
I do agree that an extra point for the Batman was a class thing. That bit where it does that horizontal machine gun line and then just drives through. That's quality.
Oh, I think one of my favourite shots in the entire film is where obviously you think it's been driven by Batman, but it isn't. It goes into the chemical factory, just doesn't care. It's got to go in there, boom, drop the bomb, and then it's drive out. I just love that scene. I love the light, cinematography, everything about it. It's great.
It drops an atom bomb in there and it comes out there with not a scratch on it.
Yeah, well, it's got the technology.
One of the things this film's championed for is its soundtrack. Prince, obviously, and some parts of it work really well. But there's an early-ish scene when they're having the meeting at Wayne Manor and they're all playing roulette and various casino games, and there's Prince playing in the background. I just thought it was quite jarring because there is kind of this elegant 30s vibe going on, and then Prince playing out. So yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I enjoyed it less than I thought I would. Is what I'm saying.
On that note, on the soundtrack, it's not brilliant. The soundtrack. I know Bat Dance was the number one, and because everyone just wanted everything Batman and just bought everything Batman, I suppose. Party Man, where he's in the museum, nah, that's all right. Trust when he's on the float. But if you look at the Batman soundtrack, it's got one of the best Prince songs on it, which isn't in the film as far as I can tell, which is "The Arms of Orion," which is just a great song. So good.
I hated that Prince did the music for that because I don't think it really added anything to the movie. And again, it was just because, and it just was weird that every song was a Prince song. Because originally I think they wanted Michael Jackson in there too, and George Michael. Like they wanted the three of them to contribute music to the movie.
Wow, okay.
That would have been an horrendous mix.
It would have been, but I think this is a horrendous mix itself. Like even like what is the song "Trust" at the end when he's
Trust.
Yeah. So I was watching that. They could have put any song there, like, and it would have been way better than what he had. Like they could have. I was thinking, like, did you ever hear Glenn Miller's "In the Mood"? They could have put that there.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
But they're like, oh, let's just give Prince $10 million because he's not rich enough, and we'll market the hell out of him. But I just thought it sucked, and I never bought the original soundtrack for it. I waited weeks or a month until the score came out, and I bought that one, and that was awesome.
Oh, the score is amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Danny Elfman did an incredible job with the theme.
Lead singer of Oingo Boingo. Yes. All weird science fans. Yeah, definitely. I've got it in mind now. George Michael. So what would he? Gotta have bats, bats, bats. You gotta have bats. I don't know. What would he have done? Yikes! I know. Yikes. I'm sure there's a gag. I'm sure there's a George Michael gag in there somewhere, but I can't think of it. Obviously. So, Alfred, it's embarrassing stories because we've just got to move this along. We might have to go into, because I know you've got some trivia, Joe, and I know it's dynamite. I know it's really good.
It's mostly casting, but we'll go over that.
Okay. Can I? So the thing I probably wanted to raise was, if you look at the psychotic nature of Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, probably one of the most psychotic moments is where, for me, he burns the money because he's got no. It doesn't want it. It doesn't need it. That's not why he's doing this. And everyone looks on, and he takes the share from all the crime bosses and just lights it on fire and goes, not interested. The psychotic nature of Heath Ledger is still within, I think, this film, despite the fact that Jack Nicholson is looked at as camp. If you look, the way that he kills people, his plan is to kill everyone in Gotham. He wants to draw everyone in Gotham because there's free money, and then completely kill everybody in Gotham. That's the plan. I think you forget, because this film's quite, as I say, it's quite dark, but it is quite light in the sense when you compare it to some of the other films. Certainly when you compare it to Batman Returns, it's still got some, the parallels between the Joker, I think, are done well. And I don't know if that's good filmmaking on both sides, where they say, well, look, he might laugh. You don't laugh at Heath Ledger's Joker, but you do at Jack Nicholson's, I think.
Well,
I didn't.
Jack Nicholson. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Amanda? Sorry.
I didn't laugh at it.
Oh.
I was a bit bored.
Jack Nicholson's Joker, though, is the most comic book accurate Joker that we've seen on the screen. I'd say someone that's probably close to Cesar Romero's Joker too. But like Jack Nicholson's, the origin that you have for the Joker is pretty much comic book accurate. He falls into chemicals. His skin gets basically dyed white. His hair turns green. He's got a permanent smile on his face. Like Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix, their Jokers wear makeup. They take it off when they go to bed. It's not bleached to their skin. And the less we say about Jared Leto's Joker, the better.
Yes, we forget about that one, yeah.
The Joker doesn't have tattoos. He's not an idiot. He's not a sucky actor. Nicholson was actually, again, he gets a lot of crap because he, when you think about it, two Jokers have won Oscars, two actors that portrayed the Joker, and he didn't. And they're like, well, he can't be that good then. But he is very good. I do like him. I think a lot of his scenes, I think, are very memorable, and I think he does a great job. And he did have respect for the character. And this is part of the trivia. He said he kind of played him as a psychotic Bugs Bunny. And, I thought that was... I can't imagine Jack Nicholson watching Bugs Bunny, but it makes me happy.
How much did he get paid, Joe, on this? Sorry, Dom. How much did he get paid? I know you've got it in trivia.
Let's see. Well, I know he
took a cut of the profits, didn't he?
Yeah, he got a big cut of the profits, the merchandising. It said that with all of that, he made over $100 million. I think it might have been like his original salary was maybe $6 million or $10 million, but then like he had all these demands, and one of the demands too was that guy that played Bob the Goon, his right hand man, was one of his buddies, and he says, well, I want to have him in the movie, because I'm good friends with them. And so they made up the character for him. And he also wanted to be able to watch the Laker games because he was a big Lakers fan. Like he had all these little details in there. But yeah, no, he made a lot of money off of the merchandising and the profits. And that's why a lot of stars, I'm sure Robert Downey Jr. participated in stuff like that too when he did Iron Man. And they realized that, the money is in the gross of the movie. We can make money besides just the salary. Give me less of a salary, but give me the back end on the profits. So he did good.
Yeah, absolutely. Dom, what were you going to say, Mum?
Yeah, no, sorry. Really good analysis by Joe there. I just think one of the things that counted against Nicholson a bit in this film is I just think he's getting a bit old for the physical comedy and the physical routines by this stage. So he's kind of in his early 50s, I think, 52-ish, when he makes this film. And I think he struggles a little bit.
I agree.
Some of the dancing is a little bit dad dancing. I'm not necessarily one to criticise for that. But
what
yeah.
are you trying to say about people in the 50s, Dom?
Yeah.
They shouldn't be cavorting,
You're nearly out. Well, you are outnumbered. Nearly outnumbered.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're kind of right. He's a little too short to play the Joker. He's a little too chubby, too. Like, because the Joker is usually tall and skinny. And we'll get to some potential Jokers that would have been really good Jokers, too.
So what else, Dom? I think, because I think we'll probably end with the trivia on this one. So I'll come to you. Standout moments, Amanda, in a moment, or any niggles or any things that you've written down where you've gone, and another thing, and what about this? And so,
couple of things from me that more niggles, I guess. On rewatching it, it was only that I realised just how much of a romantic subplot there is in this film, and there's too much of it, frankly. I think we've already commented that there isn't much chemistry between the actors, which, agreed, but just that it could have been cut, really. I think the film sags quite a lot when the Joker's not present or when Batman's not present, so I thought that was a bit of a disappointment. And Amanda, I know you missed the end of the film, but for me, the climax being in that cathedral was purely so that they could use the line "Bats in the Belfry." That's the only reason they could have done that. So I just thought it was odd. I thought it was quite a flat ending to what had otherwise been a good film.
Well,
If I was plotting my kind of enjoyment of this film on a graph, it would start off pretty high and then kind of gradually tail down. And I thought the ending was a bit of a damp squib.
I didn't write this down.
I've just got to say, the bit where he fires the gun, which goes around the gargoyle, and then Jack Nicholson's hanging on to the Joker's hanging on to the thing. When that gargoyle comes off, anyone else notice the physics? That's it. The stone falls to the ground. Jack Nicholson goes. It doesn't stay tied round the base of the gargoyle. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would that be weighing him down? It's gone, sheared off. Anyway,
I was gonna say one of the things I didn't write down, but I read with the trivia is that they didn't know what was going to happen at the end because they had Nicholson going up the stairs with Basinger there, and Nicholson says, "What am I supposed to do once I get up the stairs?" And he didn't know it was a cathedral, and he says it's a surprise. Like Tim Burton hadn't written that part yet, so they didn't know it was a chapel. They didn't know what they were going to do, and he's just walk up the stairs. It's going to be really good. And he goes, but we haven't finished the set yet, so they really didn't know what they were going to do. So it wasn't.
You can tell, really, it comes across. They just waltz around a bit randomly while Batman takes a bit of a pasting from some generic baddie for a while, don't they? So it's not a well executed ending.
It was kind of cool, though. I liked him fighting those guys. He looked pretty cool as Batman.
Anyway, Niggles, annoyances, Toodle Pip.
Right.
I've opened Pandora's box.
Oh, hello. Well,
hope you brought her a drink first.
Well, the thing that annoyed me is he's got black makeup on underneath his mask as well.
That looks cool, though.
No, but surely he's going to have to keep cleansing that off. Surely that would be really annoying if you're in a costume, because it's on and then it's off, it's on and then it's off, it's on and then it's off, and they just end up with loads of black eyeliner stuff all still on his eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but okay, that's fine.
And then Vicky Vale is supposed to be a journalist. Well, surely journalists are really untrustworthy. So why did Alfred encourage the relationship with a journalist of all people?
She was probably hacking his voicemail. That'd have been the quickest way to uncover his identity.
I think Alfred wanted to see her naked.
Yeah,
no, I'm just saying it made no sense. It's like, why don't you tell Vicky that you're Batman? And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Look who's here. It's Vicky, and I've told her that you're Batman. Get his ass out of here. Who the hell are you?
Do you think he had a little peephole?
Okay.
Anyway.
Alfred, I want to speak to you about this hole of these discarded Kleenex that I've discovered. Yeah. I've run it through my state-of-the-art lab, and the outcome is you're fired.
You mean the bat peephole, sir?
Oh, blimey. Let's move on to trivia. Give us some trivia, Joe.
I guess he could use his echolocation to detect what Alfred was up to, couldn't he, in the elsewhere in the madness? So if Alfred's having a crafty one off the wrist, then he just his little radar will pick that up.
But he would just pick up a mass, though, wouldn't he? He wouldn't necessarily pick up the fact that he was shuffling one off.
You think Alfred's capable of producing a mass at his age, do you? Is that what he's saying?
No,
yeah?
I don't mean the end game. I mean the act of while he's doing it. Bats will just go, there's a big thing over there that I need to avoid. They won't go, there's a big thing over there, and it looks like he's got his hand on his balls. I don't think bats are that good.
I'm so sorry for just mentioning a peephole. This has just got a bit out of hand.
I would be pissed if I was Batman and Alfred And it's like, well, I think we could trust her, sir. It's like, you don't know that. Just because she's got long, flowing blonde hair and she wears a white dress, that makes her a good person? Nope.
No, but everybody knows. In Batman Returns, he tells Michelle Pfeiffer. In Batman Forever, he tells Nicole
Well, she
Kidman.
guessed.
And I can't even remember who was the...
Oh, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
now we're talking.
Yes.
She's rude.
Yes.
Is that
she
Isn't
that
she?
like? Is that a good? Is that like kind
that's
of
a
like
good
when we
thing.
say something's bad, it's actually good?
Yeah, rude is good. She's well rude.
Oh, okay.
She's very rude.
Anyway, right. We are back on time. So Joe, hit us with some trivia for
All right. So the interesting thing, because of the success of Superman the movie, they originally wanted Richard Donner to direct the movie, and he wanted Mel Gibson to play Batman.
Ooh.
And they ended up turning it down for whatever reason. They ended up doing Lethal Weapon 2, but he wanted Michael J. Fox to play Robin, and he wanted William Dafoe to play the Joker, and Joe Pesci to play the Penguin.
Oh, Joe Pesci would have worked.
That would have all of those would have worked.
It would have been an interesting movie. You kind of wonder how he would have treated it. Would it have been as dark? Especially that Robin was in it. I kind of feel like it would have been a little lighter. But I still would have liked to seen that movie.
Okay. All right. Yeah. On that one.
Let's see here. So what's his name? Ivan Reitman, who did Ghostbusters. Originally, he wanted to do a Batman movie before this one with Bill Murray and Eddie Murphy.
Oh no!
But they were arguing because Eddie Murphy wanted to play Batman, and he wanted Bill Murray to be Robin, and Bill Murray wanted to be Batman, and he wanted Eddie Murphy to be Robin, and they just couldn't get along. So they were like, "Well, screw it."
Oh God, Bill Murray is Batman. I mean,
No,
Batman.
He was very
ever.
popular at the time.
I agree with you, but yeah. I know you don't like Bill Murray, but yeah.
It's just it can only play Bill Murray. He doesn't.
And he does it so well.
I don't think it would have worked. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm with Amanda. It's just.
No, I agree. I don't think it would have worked.
And he definitely would not have worked as Bruce Wayne.
No.
So the surgical tools that were used to reconstruct the Joker's face, you'll appreciate this, Charlie, were the same tools that were used in Little Shop of Horrors by
Steve Martin, the dentist.
Steve Martin is the dentist.
Yeah, like that. That Steve Martin is, well, lifts any film, but he definitely lifts Little Shop of Horrors, despite the fact that he's in it for probably a grand total of about 6 or 7 minutes. That's all you need.
So they wanted to do another Batman movie, and it would have had Chevy Chase or Bill Murray as Batman. I think this is probably the same one.
Okay.
Yeah. Tom Cruise as Robin, Molly Ringwald as Batgirl, Tim Curry as the Joker,
Ooh.
John Candy as the Penguin, Steve Martin as the Riddler, and Sigourney Weaver as Catwoman.
I'm gonna go along with that. I kind of like that.
It'd be very campy, though.
Yeah. Well, John Candy is the Penguin.
Yeah, all those people are very interesting,
but not Chevy
cast
Chase.
decisions.
I mean,
No, not Chevy Chase.
We've done. I know we have a fun. We like Chevy Chase in the roles that we like, especially you, Dom. But Chevy Chase is. There's nobody else that can play Clark Griswold. I wouldn't. Yeah.
But people said the same thing about Michael Keaton, and they couldn't picture him as Batman. So I kind of maybe could see Chevy Chase as Batman. I mean, if he did decide, all right, I'm going to play this one seriously. I can't think of anything he really played seriously, though.
Exactly.
Well, you've got the same dilemma there with Robin Williams, where you think, well, okay, whatever Robin Williams goes into. And I always remember he was in a film in the early 2000s called Insomnia.
Oh, yeah.
With Al Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. And he played a serial killer in 1 Hour Photo. I do remember him in that. And I was like, wow, this is dark. This is very dark.
Awakenings. Remember that movie?
Yeah. And the
De Niro?
world According to Gough, of course.
Yeah.
So he can do the straight stuff.
So these were potential Batmans, and I'm going to repeat some of them. I think Kurt Russell.
Yes.
Yes.
You can see that.
Yeah.
I could see that too.
He's got the chin, hasn't he?
And the hair. How do you
Yeah.
get that in the mask?
He'd need a haircut. Al Pacino.
As Batman.
Yeah.
I'm
God,
Batman.
He's Penguin.
I'm Batman.
Batman.
I'd rather have Robin Williams. I'd rather have Robbie Williams playing Batman than Al Pacino. I think.
Patrick Swayze.
No.
Well, as Dom's just said, he's got the chin.
He'd have to have a much shorter haircut. Tom Cruise.
Too small.
Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
No.
Nicolas Cage in anything. Yes.
No. Not handsome enough.
Nicolas Cage as Superman. Yeah. Oh, that's already been done.
Harrison Ford.
No.
No.
I don't know. I might be able to see him
Nah.
as Batman. Pierce Brosnan.
Your favorite Bond, Joe?
He actually was offered the role and he turned it down.
It's a bit too British, isn't he?
Well, I was thinking Jeremy Irons. I'd like to see that Batman.
Might be on the list. It's a big list.
As opposed to him playing Alfred now.
Kevin Spacey.
No.
Was a younger.
Playing Batman?
Yeah.
No, never. No.
Alec Baldwin was my choice.
Yeah, well, he played the Shadow, didn't he? So
Kevin Costner.
I have this in reflex that just goes, Kevin Costner, yes, he can do anything.
It's a maybe. Wouldn't
Richard
he
Gere.
have been too old, though?
Richard Gere can play Batman.
No, he would have been young. That was in his youthful time. Richard Gere.
Dude, you're not talking about him now. I mean, it'd be like...
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough we've got an 80-year-old Harrison Ford playing Indiana Jones, which if you've watched the film, I think he plays Indiana Jones for probably about, about 8 minutes, Joe? The rest of it's all CGI'd.
Yeah, kind of.
What about Michael Douglas? He's been in virtually everything else we've done in
He might be.
season
There's a
7.
big list here.
Yeah. We might have to stop. Have you got any other trivia? Because we've got about 5 minutes
Well,
left.
we've got
the
we
draw.
are just-
Let me just.
We've got the draw to make.
Essentially, we are just listing every single major actor in the 80s.
Yeah.
aren't we? So it's-
But some of these, like Michael Bain.
Hicks.
I could see him.
Who?
Yes, Hicks in Aliens.
Oh, I don't know.
Or Kyle Reese in Terminator.
Matthew Broderick.
Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta almost
John
got it.
Cusack.
Robert De Niro.
I think Ray Liotta auditioned for Batman and the Joker, and then he wanted to go with Goodfellas instead.
Okay. Bobcat Goldthwait from Police Academy.
No. Your favorite, Tom Hanks.
Oh,
no.
yes. Yeah. Well,
John
it's
We're not, allowed to
basically,
discuss, we're not allowed to discuss
No.
Tom Hanks, are we? On
ba-
this pod?
basically because his star had decided to wane after that. After Big, it all went south. Bachelor Party, Big. Yeah, that's about it.
John Travolta.
John Travolta needed that kick. The 80s was not kind to John Travolta.
Well, they would know he was Batman by the cleft in his chin.
Steve Guttenberg. He could have done with the help as well.
No, Sean Penn.
All right, now we're just listing. Right, okay. We're just throwing darts into a dartboard and hoping they hit.
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, well, I'll just say yes because I'll
Charlie
stick up for the Sheens.
Oh, and you said Charlie. Rob. Matthew Broderick. Dom.
Rob.
Sorry. Calling you Rob from now on. I got all these names in front of me. I'm sorry.
Just improvising names now. We've switched around.
Right, you get two more names and then we're gonna have to move into the next draw.
All right, Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, no chance.
Oh.
No.
His just I can't picture that.
Okay.
Kevin
Last one.
Kline.
No. Too nice. Right, that's it. That's it for trivia. We're all
All right,
done
it's
for
like
trivia.
Bruce Willis, Tom Selleck, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No,
No.
and no. Thrice no. Right,
Quick, Charlie, intervene. Come on, hurry up.
well, one thing I have to tell you about the podcast is this is the first podcast that will be assisted by AI. Not my choice. It's our
What, you replacing
podcast,
us?
our podcast proposers. Well, yeah, I'm trialing it. I need to keep you for comedy value, but yeah, I'm joking anyway. Right.
Rude.
So what the AI does is it does a transcript for the whole podcast. So it just automatically does it. It just goes through and analyzes it and does it perfectly, apparently. But one of the things it does, and this is what I'm thinking about, is it helps you with the description and the title. I don't need help with that because we've already got a way of doing that. It's fine. But if the AI looks at it and goes, this podcast should be called Alfred Having One Off the Wrist, then I know that the AI
Donkey.
has not understood the proper context of what we're talking about.
Look, don't put all your faith in AI, because while we were talking, I asked ChatGPT to come up with some George Michael and Wham based song titles to turn them into bat-themed puns, and it gave me some right dross. It gave me 3. Faith could be bat faith, for a bat that believes in its nocturnal navigation skills. Wake me up before you go could be wake me up before you echo, a reference to the echolocation technique bats use. And careless whisper could be careless whisker, referring to a bat's facial features. I think we've got at least 20 more years before our AI overlords overthrow us and enslave us in their data centers. So yeah, I wouldn't risk it, Charlie.
It's excellent. I asked it to write a blog on 2010, the year we made contact. I may actually post it in the WhatsApp chat. It went, this interstellar hunt for aliens, and it just went on this rant, and I'm like, I don't know what film that is. It's got nothing to do with 2010. But anyway, look, you'll see the transcript for the first time. I'll be able to upload it to YouTube. Oh, I can't wait. Lovely. Anyway, I'm sure it helps you, and you know, if you do have that, what's a transcript actually do? Is it just provide the subtitles?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Well, good then. If we're helping people that have additional needs, then welcome to the podcast, and I'm really sorry that I didn't do it before. Anyway, the draw.
We didn't rate the movie. We didn't give it.
We didn't. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
It was that bad. We're not rating it.
Well, I will say a solid 8 for me. I don't mind who goes next, but
I think it's Dom. Dom goes next.
Okay, if we're just giving scores, for me it was a 6.5 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
It's higher than I thought.
Here we go. Here we go. Drum roll.
You're really not going to like me. I'm giving it a 3.
That's okay. I thought it was going to be a negative number. So
yeah, we always think that, and it's always a bit more generous.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to echo Charlie and say an 8.
Yes, absolutely. Strong 8, I think. It's a nice way to put it. The blockbuster continues. 3 films are in here. Here we go. The draw. I like your 3 films, I must say. I really do. So,
you might not.
Well, here we go. Weekend at Bernie's.
And you know what? I have never seen the movie.
I've never seen it either.
Oh, fantastic. That's a great choice. Yeah.
Are we allowed to say it? I mean, dead guy hit, I know the whole Friends line, dead guy getting hit in the nuts plenty of times. What's not to like? I love this film. There we go.
We all have to get high in order to watch it, though. That's because that's normally a requirement when you watch this film. So
did you see it?
It's been a while.
I guess
yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah.
Yes. I think we watched it. We watched it when we were roommates. Did we?
Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me. I'm just going to wonder how I'm going to explain what I'm doing to my children as I take a hit from the
the bong.
Yeah, wait a minute. You're transcribing this, aren't you? I don't want this to feature in HR disciplinary. As I take a hit from my glass, is what I was about to say.
I was just quoting Cypress Hill, so I've no involvement in it.
I just always thought that film looked so stupid. I didn't even want to bother to see it, but I guess now.
We get to talk about the sequel as well. Oh, excellent.
I'm not watching that.
You may want to, Joe.
I might.
We've both not seen it. Let's give it a whirl.
Yeah.
Because we might actually surprise ourselves and like it.
I'm going to guess your score. I'm going to say you give it another 3.
Really?
And I haven't even seen it.
Whoa. We're not in Legend and Batman territory here, right? This is.
Andrew McCarthy.
Don't knock this film. It's got a lot of It's got a lot. You know. We might have a drink before we watch it. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I might pass out though.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
That doesn't count. I mean, why didn't you drunk her up for Batman then?
Drunk her up.
Yeah, we would have gotten like a bigger score for it.
Oh God, I really hope this
And
comes
like,
out in the
those
transcript.
colors.
Looks
I
like
spent most of my Friday night and Friday last weekend drunkard up. Yes.
yeah. So AI looks as if it might be sending some of us to jail because it looks like we
It's going to red flag us, isn't it?
it's going to say that we've drunk you up, and it's not going to know what that means, and it's going to
Drunk.
automatically assume
Drunk.
that it's bad.
Well,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I want to confuse the AI.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Cruise is fighting against it. On a final note on that one, we do have a couple of minutes. Tom Cruise, I love the story in the paper is that the Screen Actors Guild, the strike with the actors that's going on at the moment, Tom Cruise represents a particular a spin-off from that. I think it's the producers, and he's basically the spokesperson for that. And he went on a Zoom call and went, "I'm here to talk about the effects and the protections that are needed against AI." And I'm like, he's brilliant, excellent. Life imitates art, wonderful.
Well, he doesn't like the soap opera effect on TVs either. So I don't know. There's bigger fish to fry for Tom Cruise, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I've got a lot of Tom Cruise to catch up on. But anyway, right. Well, we've kept it. We did it. I mean, I couldn't believe that we actually got to a point where we put everything in that needed to be put in. So yeah, I'm well happy. Do you like our shorts, by the way? I was going to ask you, but I hope everybody at home
I think they're funny.
Seen the YouTube shorts. Yeah, we've got somebody that does that.
I'd like to see the YouTube short for this one.
I know I'm going to have to pick out bits from your reviews and stuff. So yeah, I've got things in mind. I've been listening. But yeah, so next film. See you in 2 weeks for
Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's. We've pulled it out of the hat. Right, so I'm going to say cheerio, everyone.
See you.
Bye.
Toodle pip.
Bye.